Friends, we're back. Hello again. It's me, Brian, aka EMOTIONA. Welcome back to the EMOTIONA Podcast. This is like the fourth episode, and I'm gonna be honest, some time has passed since we last connected. I know we did the first 3 episodes, and there for a while I was kind of putting them on YouTube and getting the whole video thing. But, legit podcasts, to me, they're on like the Apple Podcast app, right? And Spotify is doing a bunch of podcasts now. So I know we talked that last episode. How do you do that? How do you get your podcast on, Apple Podcasts or Spotify? I was like, is there a website? I thought to myself out loud. You were there. And if you weren't there, you can be there. If you can travel back in reverse and listen to, I think it was episode 3. But sure enough, there is a website where it's like a magical podcast website. I knew it was there, and it's a thing. If like me, you are starting your own podcast or would like to or interested, check out Anchor.fm. Anchor, like the boat, like a ship anchor, like if you're floating out in sea and like you don't want to like be swept away, you drop the anchor in the bottom of the ocean. And then when you drop the anchor, you're held in place by gravity. The waves are still pulling you around, boom, boom, but your anchor keeps you grounded. And with all the crazy stuff happening in the world, isn't it nice to know that we all have an anchor? And it's up to us to drop it. That doesn't make sense. But Anchor.fm is a really good podcast app. And sure enough, I went there. I said, hello, Anchor people. My name's EMOTIONA. I was like, I would love to start my podcast, and I uploaded the first 3 episodes. I put some imagery, and they're like, no problem. We'll put you on Apple. We'll talk to the Apple guys. We'll hook you up with Tim Cook, right? Tim Cook. Wozniak. Woz isn't there anymore, but there's Apple guys, and there's Spotify people as well. So long story short, Anchor, they said, Dear Apple, EMOTIONA would love to put his podcasts on your cool music podcast service thing. And it took some time, so there were some delays, right? Just like everything, especially now, there's like just delays for whatever reason. So like I waited a couple weeks, and like it still wasn't popping up on iTunes or whatever, Apple Podcasts. So I sent Anchor an email. I was like, hey, what's up, fam? And they're like, yeah, sorry about that. It seems like they just kind of spaced it. Anyways, long story short, we're on there, folks. The EMOTIONA Podcast is a thing. So yeah, it's cool that you're here. I'm glad you clicked on it. But also at the same time, I'm kind of experimenting with using like clips on Instagram and whatever social media stuff, kind of using this as a way for, that we can connect in like this long form too, but then also just take some clips and have it be a cool opportunity to connect on Instagram stories and have like a little 10 to 30 second little thing where I just kind of talk about stuff and connect with people. And it's been really cool so far. And again, for me, even just for me, like I love this. Like even now, like slowing back down, like yeah, this is cool. I wanted to do it last night, but like the neighbor's dog was kind of barking, upstairs, and I ate too many tacos, so I kind of felt like too like not light, I didn't feel like ready. But now it's like it's morning. Can you see out the window? Well, there's a window behind me. Use your mind. You can see it. But feeling really good, and it's crazy. So it's crazy how much time has passed. Like since last we talked about like Heartlines, the Florence and the Machine song, and a lot has changed since then. So I wanted to go like just full originals. Like I've got all these song ideas in my head. I want to start like making them. I want to start I want to put original songs out there. I thought it'd be a cool transition to start out the EMOTIONA stuff with like the EMOTIONA project and say, hey, I'm going to reinvent, some of my favorite songs, blah, blah, blah. But it was cool. And I've never really been like a cover guy. I don't really do cover songs a lot, every once in a while, but it's just always been about original stuff for me. So I felt, I could do, at this point, I could do some covers and some remakes and like feel fine about it, which I do. But still, it wasn't like 100%. Like, I was excited about it. I know people were, but there's a weird thing, in hindsight when I think about it, where it's like this person's still singing someone else's song. You know what I mean? Even though they totally remixed it or totally remade it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's I was like, I'm glad I started there, but I've got these songs in my head. Why not start acting on them and putting them out there? So we did Florence and the Machine, and then the next, which we didn't talk about, we haven't talked about yet, I did this remix because I was talking with my buddy Illumithist, and he was like, at the time he was talking about, yeah, these are cool. We were talking about Florence and the Machine. He was like, it's a really, really cool thing, the whatever Heartline song. But he's like, wouldn't it be sick if you were using her actual voice, like Florence's voice? And I was like, well, yeah, that'd be super sick. And then it just made me I started thinking. So then there was this Tate McRae song, which I just started hearing on like TikTok. This is months back now, like probably November-ish. And I was just like, man, I love that song. It was just kind of like sad and beautiful. I was like, that's it. Like, I just loved it. Right. And some songs are like that. Like right when you hear it, right at the start, boom, this is amazing. You know what I mean? And I was like, well, what if I got that vocal and made like a remix, like a traditional remix? And that's another thing too that I'm like kind of working through. I'm sure all creative people are like this. We're all like this in some type of way. But like, I just wanted to. I'm always like, not intentionally being too weird, but like, I'm just trying to maximize whatever crazy ideas I have in my head. And sometimes they come across like a little too out there or a little too, it's just too far-fetched. You know what I mean? I'm trying to like I'm trying to balance it. I told my buddy Cam Reeves this. I was like, I'm trying to be more normal. You know what I mean? That might sound bad, like you're selling out or whatever. It's like not really. I'm just trying to learn how to talk with people and connect with people, and do. By doing the things that normal people do, you can like bring magic. Like, say you're like this magician, and you want to bring magic into the world. You know what I mean? Well, it's like you need to be able to like talk. You need to communicate to normal people. If you want to blow normal people's minds, you have to like speak with them. And if you're too weird, the magic trick like is like, whew, dude, this guy's crazy. But if you're like one of them, and then you show them your magic trick, it's like, whoa, this guy's, I feel like that's where the juice is. So kind of coming down to earth more, but also knowing that crazy thing is there and worth doing. But just, hey, learning how to communicate it, So yeah, that was a little tangent, but the Tate McRae song, oh yeah, so she's like using her voice or whatever, because that's what normal people do. Normal producers use the original vocal for the remix, where before I was like, well, I love to sing, I can sing this, listen to me, watch me, and that's good, but it was super cool. So I extracted the vocal. This is for the Tate McRae song, You Broke Me First. Whew, love that one. But extracted the vocal, and I was like, this is gonna be amazing. And I just found some chords. I actually used the similar chords from the song. I didn't really switch up the chords, but I just wanted like a big melodic bass drop, you know what I mean? And I know that there was like 2 official remixes. Like, I remember hearing a Griffin remix, which I love Griffin, and then another producer that I wasn't super familiar with, but I heard both of the remixes, and they were just kind of like, didn't capture the essence of the song, or like this kind of this somberness, And I was like, that's what I want. I want that same feel, but just like maximize. Like, I want to hear that in like a big melodic bass drop or whatever, This is exactly what I did. I didn't want to overthink it. Didn't want to like put too much time into it. I was like, let's just put this together really fast. And I'm just so stoked with how it turned out. I couldn't put it on, since it's like an unofficial remix, I couldn't put it on SoundCloud, or I couldn't put it on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, but it is on SoundCloud still, so that's cool. But if you just search, I think if you go to SoundCloud, you just search EMOTIONA Music, one word, EMOTIONA Music, because SoundCloud search is kind of crazy, last I checked at least. But yeah, the Tate McRae remix is on there, and I don't know, I'm just really excited with how that turned out. And been also doing like at that time I was like experimenting with TikTok videos as well. I was like, here's this brand new app, here's this whole new way to communicate with people and stuff. I was like, I'm gonna do like a 30-day challenge to where I just make a TikTok every day and like crack the code and figure out how it works. So that was a whole rabbit hole too. By the way, TikTok at whatever it is, tiktok.com/Emotiona Music, or if you just search Emotiona Music on TikTok, I'm there. And that was cool. I didn't end up doing it 30 days because it turns out 30 days is a lot longer than you think. And obviously it sounds funny anytime you make like a commitment, but I did 2 weeks straight and I was like, dude, I already got it. Like after 2 weeks, I was like, I did all the things I wanted to do. I wanted to learn how to make all the types of, you have these like ideas for videos in your head and you just want to know how to make them, and you also want to know what people are reacting to and stuff like that. And that was really fun, just kind of making those videos. So I made this one for that Tate McRae song. I was like playing cello and stuff, and yeah, it's really fun. It's crazy because it's like you release a song, you're like, hey, dear world, like I'm gonna put this song out there. But yeah, I've just been thinking a lot about like, how do you generate attention? How do you generate excitement? How do you tell a story through the release, right? So it's clear that you can just put music out there, put anything out there now, and there's just so many people online where how are you supposed to cut through? But then more important than that is like, how do you make stuff that like connects with people? Or how do you like make? It's not about getting attention. I mean, the first part, your human weird brain reaction is like, I want attention, But I think a cooler way to phrase it is, how can I create things that are even more impactful or even more meaningful? So when you like make a video, when you have this whole plan for like this video release or this, social media story or some type of thing that's beyond the music, that's more than the music. This is what label people would do and PR people would do. It's how do you generate energy around it? And it's not, I don't feel like I'm just like thinking this right now. It's not selfish. It's like you're just trying to work even harder to make something great. Because so much of it is like a story. Like, I'm not sure if you've seen The Weeknd. And this is just classic Hollywood stuff, but I mean, The Weeknd's it's been a couple months, like maybe 6 months, but 4 months at least. They've been like telling this story. The Weeknd, like the pop singer, I love The Weeknd. Like his album came out like a while ago, and he was on TV, and he has like this broken nose, and like you can tell like it looked like he got in a car crash or he had some botched plastic surgery, right? So it's like. And you see him, he's in bandages, he's at the gold, whatever, like the Grammys, whatever the heck, award show, and he's in another music video where he has this other, face thing, or so he like over the weeks and months, he's, creating a story. You don't even realize it yet. This is just super creative storytelling that I'm sure that his team came up with, and they're like, we're going to create this mystery around you. So now as a fan, you're looking at The Weeknd like, dude, what's up? Did he just have a messed up plastic surgery? You're just questioning. You're excited. You're like, what? Not excited, but you're just curious. Like, what's going on? Weeknd, you good? And then slowly they keep like showing more and more of his face. And then just recently, like last week or 2 weeks ago, they show this crazy music video. It's like his new music video, and it looks like his face. It looks like he pulled a Michael Jackson, or like he got this just really extreme, really like cringy plastic surgery, and really, I just did some digging on Instagram. Really, he didn't. He just went to some like costume / like prosthetics effects people, like some special effects, like Thriller, like Michael Jackson. Like I'm sure they were thinking about that the whole time. So yeah, they were just really creative with how they kind of like released that album or released that song, and it's cool. And I don't know, I just think it's another way to be creative, and it's another way to sort of put things out there and make an impact, on people. And it's something. In that case, it's just something silly. So I feel like you could do something even more, like have some sort of meaningful social media campaign or some sort of super artistic video, but yeah, it doesn't have to be like profound. It doesn't have to be this like super wild thing. So I don't know. I've just been thinking about that a lot when you put so much music into you put so much energy into making music, but you also want to put it out there the right way and make sure that it's kind of finding a cool home, so it's been fun for sure. So that was the Tate McRae and the TikTok stuff. But shortly after I released that remix, I was like, you know what? I was thinking about doing like another EMOTIONA project with like a Millennium song, Nightlight. I was going to do Nightlight because I really like that song. And I made like 2 versions of it. And it wasn't really, it was sounding good, but like it was just kind of like too down. I was kind of like, it's kind of like sad sounding. And the song is like that, but for whatever reason, I just wasn't excited to put it out there. So I was like, you know what? Don't force stuff. If you're not feeling it, don't force stuff out there. You know what I mean? So I was like, well, maybe it's time to just change it up, and maybe that's to sign to start making original music and stuff. So I think it was like right around like late November, early December. I was just like hanging around the apartment, and I just like had this idea super fast of kind of like, 2020 was super challenging and stuff, and wouldn't it be cool if like there's this like kind of anthem type song that was just a cool positive way to go out, like, and that's kind of how Goodbye to the Year started. And I was like on a time crunch. I remember it was like this, maybe the first week of December. I was like, can I like start this idea, record it, upload it, and have it all ready before New Year? So it was like only within a couple of weeks. I took the challenge. I was like, let's do it. It turned out really cool. So definitely. You talk about like that. I was talking about that Millennium song where I felt like it was too down. Like it was totally the opposite. So it was like I was like, it'd be cool to make a song that's more uplifting, more light. I was talking about that in those earlier episodes, and it's so crazy. Like on one hand, I'll be wanting to make like, I want to make brighter, happier stuff and kind of be intentional about it. But then once I put out this Goodbye to the Year song, I listened to it back and I was like, I love the sounds. It's exactly what I was hoping. It's exactly what I had in my head. But I was like, man, I kind of wish it was like sadder and more like emotional, But I guess that's just the way it goes and stuff. And that's just cool that every song, well, then, your next song can be different. And so yeah, it just gets you more excited to put out the next song and switch it up and have songs that are more impactful or energetic, and have other ones that are more chill and light, so I got it out right before New Year's. So I did this whole thing, just like I was talking about with TikTok. I was like, well, what would be a cool way to release that, So I was like, I can do this kind of TikTok type video where I'm singing to the camera, and just kind of say, hey, if 2020 was like one of the hardest years ever of your life, like the song's for you, and that's what I was kind of doing. I was trying to make something that was like, just like hopeful and like, but real, and I don't know, some people on the internet were like, but 2020 wasn't a bad year, and and it's like, I get it. Like, I'm always like kind of naturally optimistic, honestly, and I'm like, glasses half full, blah blah blah. But I've just been thinking about being more honest, more vulnerable, more like ready. I feel like that's a big thing about this whole thing, this EMOTIONA stuff, is like, just show the real emotions, show the rawness. It's like, if 2020 wasn't a bad year, that's cool. Like, I hope it wasn't. But if it was a challenging year, if it was super hard, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? And that kind of goes against like visualizing, and you're not supposed to focus on the negative. You're supposed to just kind of, if I just focus on the positive and where I want to be, and I want to have this internal dialogue about, my reality, it's going to like affect my reality. And that's true, 100% true, but I've just been working on, balancing that and calibrating it. Like, well, I want to be, it's okay to talk about sadness too. It's okay to talk about heavy stuff too. And it's so funny, even with this podcast, I was like, remember the second and third episode, I was talking about this exact thing from an opposite perspective, it's really crazy being like open about it, so it's crazy that you get to come with me now. Like, I'm just kind of talking you through what's going through my head, like making these songs, but when you listen back in 3 months, it's like you're gonna hear it. You know what I mean? Like, just like, so episode 3, I was talking about like intentionally being more positive with stuff, and then Goodbye to the Year happened, where it's like, that's obviously a really bright song. I mean, now you're hearing this, and I'm talking about, well, I wish it was kind of more sad. And I'm sure in a couple months, or whatever the next couple songs are going to be, it's, you know, I'm sure it could be way chill, like way not as uplifting or whatever. And I love it. So, I don't know, and it's kind of cool just to talk, like we've said, like this is kind of neat. So, that was Goodbye to the Year. And I've had another song too in the works. I was gonna put out before Goodbye to the Year, that I talked about a little bit. I didn't drop the name, which is good because the name changed. I sent it to a buddy because I want to start like submitting stuff to like record labels and everything. And I was like, why not, you know, start submitting it just to, if you're really like proud of a song and stoked about it, and you think that it's at a certain place, why not start sending it to the biggest people that you really admire, you know, and their record labels and stuff. So I sent this song out, and I thought it was at like 80%. Like I knew that I really loved the sound and the production, but I knew like maybe the lyrics weren't like the greatest song I've ever written. But for whatever reason, I was like, yeah, whatever. We can still just finish it up, wrap up the song, and you know, on to the next one. But then I sent it to my buddy. And you know, he was a really, really talented producer guy, and he was like, really, it sounds really good, but he was like, don't really love the lyrics, and which is sick because he gave real advice, which is a big deal. And that goes back to being honest. Like I want to be more raw and honest with people like that, you know, because I think it matters. But he helped me out, and I was like, you know what? Why am I about to release something that I feel 80% about? You know, especially if I'm going to start submitting it to like these people that I admire a lot. Wouldn't I want it to be a song that I feel 100%, you know? So I went back to the drawing board. I was like, you know, I think the chorus could be way better. This is just this past week, went back to the drawing board, and I was like, well, can I flip the song in a week? Can I rewrite the chorus and re-record it and reproduce everything? So that was a challenge. It's more like a week and a half probably. But now I feel really excited about the song, right? So that's a big deal. Now I feel 100% about it. So now I'm going to send it to, you know, Ophelia, 7 Lines is the label, and probably Seeking Blue, which is like Mr. Suicide Sheep, like Millennium's record label. And then Slander has another record label called Heaven Sent, which I would love for them to hear it. I don't see any like submission things on their website yet, because I think that they're so new. But yeah, like on SoundCloud, like 2017, a few years ago, they were doing this like hashtag Heaven Trap. I may have mentioned that in the other episode. But I was loving this Heaven Trap sound, where it was like beautiful, epic, like this majestic melodic stuff, but then it was also like trappy, like hey, which I love that. If Ophelia's really good at like melodic bass, melodic dubstep, whatever, I feel like there's room for like this melodic trap. They call it Heaven Trap, and it's essentially the same thing. It's just melodic bass, right? But I'd love for them to hear it. I'd love to release something on Heaven Sent. It sounds exciting to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I love the positivity about it. Like, I love that feeling. But we'll see. You know, it still may not be the greatest song ever. It still may not be something that people are feeling. But it's cool to know that, you know, I'm feeling really good about it, and that I'm just gonna submit it, and then on to the next song, and submit that. And you know, I'm 50-50. It's like if they're excited and then it ends up getting picked up, and this goes with any song, that's cool. But if not, I'm really excited to put this music out there. I said it before in the earlier episodes, like, but it's cool. Those are like cover songs, essentially remix. And I'm like even more excited and even more invested now that it's like all original and all like just real Emotiona. You know, like let's go. So that's super exciting. The other band I play in, I Exist, released a song just a little bit ago called Not From Here. And we've been working on some of those songs since like 2015. And that song is no exception. We made versions of it in 2015, and it's getting released in 2021. And yeah, just crazy excited about it. So definitely check out Not From Here from I Exist. It's pretty bassy if you like aliens, if you like extraterrestrial thought. Ooh, for real. love that. Super exciting. But yeah, I mean, let's take a little the notepad we talked about. We went from Heartlines to Tate McRae. We shifted to original music. So excited, so thankful, smart, good idea, Brian. Goodbye to the year. We talked about that with the New Year's. Yeah, we made the TikTok on New Year's, and it's a little bit of a seasonal song, like Goodbye to the Year, but you could say that about, anything. Like, it's cool to write quote unquote relevant stuff or songs for the times, but like, I think if you write songs well enough, they're not too, you could listen to it any time of the year, you could listen to it any year, right? But it's definitely a New Year's song, for better or worse, but I'm really glad I did it and learned a lot, so that's cool. Secrets of production. So another goal I wanted to get before the end of 2020. I was talking about that Secrets of Production class, to where it's like this video course that I have been making. I wanted to finish it before the end of the year. Bad news and good news. Bad news, I didn't finish it before the year. Good news is I finished it like a week after, which is really exciting. Like, it was a big thing. It's like right now it's 8 hours long, like 8.5 hours long. It's like 20 videos, just like this, where I'm just like talking, but I go in on the computer and I kind of show you what's like, I just show you everything I could think of about music production. You know what I mean? Like, every secret. And yeah, so I'm gonna hold on to that. I'm gonna kind of think of the right time to start releasing it and talking about it and stuff. But I feel like it's valuable. Like, for me, I took courses like that, and they helped me a ton, and when I was like starting out. And I feel like this would hopefully be the same thing for new producers and upcoming whatever, and even intermediate guys, like whatever, like, because you're always learning stuff, so yeah, it feels good to have that finished. It feels good to have a lot of stuff finished, and like, if it wasn't by the end of 2020, it's like, I feel like this first month of 2021 is like, all this stuff's being completed. All this stuff's kind of like zipped up finally after like years and years of work, and like, it's nice. Like, it feels good. Like, it feels good to be determined and work super hard towards something, and just when it's done, it's kind of like, there you go, Earth/world/life. Here is the thing that I made. And it's not even for anybody else. Like, I was just kind of like, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, it's really for you, right? To do the things that you're supposed to do for yourself. Like, you help other people, but it's like, just so you know, within you, it's like, it is done. You did the things. Congratulations. But this is cool. It's good to be back. I'm gonna be back more often now that we're on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts or whatever, and Spotify. I don't know if it's like every week, maybe every other week. We're just gonna talk. We're gonna do this thing, and really excited about it. Really excited we're here. 2021 should be a crazy year. Should be whatever I'm ready for it. Whatever it is, right? I'm just gonna keep working on my craft. I'm gonna keep working on things that I love. I'm gonna keep learning new things. I'm gonna keep putting it out there, and you're invited to hang out. I hope you're doing the same thing, that you're putting things out there, that you're working towards an even better version of yourself, but also I hope that you're just content and satisfied. I'm feeling more now that I have all this stuff finished. Like, it's never like a finish line. It's never like an end of the road. But there is like a sigh of relief and like we made it. Literally, like, we made it. Like, not as a destination. Like, we made this thing called life, or we made this thing that we're supposed to make. We made it, folks. Until next time, peace.